Hey, friend. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to talk you through how to navigate your Word and Google Docs easily. And this will help you to jump back and forth between your chapters without scrolling through hundreds of pages or having to use the search feature to find what you're looking for. It will make it a lot easier for you to organize your chapters and scenes. I'm going to show you how to do the same thing in both Google Docs and a Word doc. I am going to start off with sharing how you can optimize your Google Doc. And I'm going to cover 4 points: organizing your files, setting up your Google Doc so that you can easily jump between chapters, adding temporary titles to your scenes to help you organize your draft, and a few formatting tips. I love using Google Docs for my writing because of the fact that as a parent, I need to be able to write when the opportunity arises, whether that's when I'm in line at Costco or honestly, I'm in the bathroom and I have 5 minutes to myself and I'm like, oh, let me write that sentence down. So, storing my projects in Google Drive allows me to capture those ideas on my phone quickly. And then when I have more time, I can easily switch to my laptop and continue writing in the same document. It's that easy accessibility that I love about Google. And on that note, let's start with point 1, organizing your files. I know you're excited to jump into those fantastic navigation features that I mentioned, but I want to first offer a suggestion for how you name your documents. This filing system is something that I learned as an editor. And when you have multiple revisions of the same project, this naming convention makes it so much easier to keep track of your different versions. So for the file name, I start with the title of the document, followed by a version number, which is simply like V1 or V2, V3, etc., and then the date. And for the date, I specifically do year, month, and day. Because if you have multiple edits of the same version, the date will still keep your documents listed in chronological order in your file folder. Let's move on to my second point, those navigation features, specifically setting up your Google Doc so that you can easily jump between chapters. And to do this, you're going to apply styles to your text. Okay? What is a style? A style is basically a default formatting instruction that you can apply to different paragraphs in your document. As I show you how to apply these styles, you will see more clearly why they are important and how they are going to help you. So let's get started. Once you are in the document itself, the first thing I want you to do is to apply the title style to the title of your manuscript. So for this example, the title of my document is my manuscript. Very original. Type your title at the top of your manuscript, if it's not already in there, and leave your cursor there or highlight the entire title, whichever suits you. Then in the toolbar, you are going to go to the Styles menu, and it's located just beneath the Format and Tools menus. At first, you'll see that the Styles menu says Normal Text, but when you click on the drop-down arrow, you will see a list of styles options. For the title, select the Title option, and that will reformat your title. It's that easy. Now, the default appearance for the title style is Arial, size 26, which is huge. I know. If you don't like the new appearance of your title text, don't worry about that. I will show you later how to change the style's appearance to match whatever font and style you like best. But we're not going to focus on that right now. So just apply the title style and notice how on the left of your document in the side pane, your Google Doc is creating an automatic outline for you. If you don't see the outline, you're going to see a little document icon, and when you hover over it, it says Show Document Outline. So you click on that, and boom, there is your document outline on the side. Now, for chapter titles, place your cursor next to your chapter 1 title, or again, highlight the whole line, whichever. Here, okay? And you are going to go to the Styles menu, click on the drop-down arrow, and select heading 1. Boom! Chapter 1 now appears in the document outline for you. And then you just click on Chapter 1 in the outline and it takes you there in the document. So instead of having to scroll and scroll through your document to find the next chapter, you just apply the same style, heading 1, to your Chapter 2 title. In fact, you apply the heading 1 style to all of your chapter titles. And then when you want to jump back and forth between your chapters, you just click on them in the document outline and Google Docs brings you right there. Look at that. It's so beautiful. It's so easy. Oh, I love it. Let's take this easy chapter navigation one step further. For my books, I don't like to title my chapters. I just number them. But for my drafts, I make sure that I include after the chapter number keywords that describe the chapter's focus. So let's say you're writing The Wizard of Oz. After chapter 1, you'd add a colon followed by running away. And after chapter 2, you'd add colon when Dorothy meets Professor Marvel. So you just add chapter 2 colon Professor Marvel. Chapter 3 colon tornado. Okay. And now in the document outline, I can see at a glance my story outline. And I don't have to check my notes or hop around trying to remember, oh, in what chapter did Dorothy meet Glinda? Okay. There you go. You can see what is going on in your story right there. On to my third point, navigating scenes. Let's say you have a bunch of planned scenes, but you don't know which of those will be long enough to become a full chapter and which scenes might be grouped together under a single chapter. How do you organize those scenes in your document? How do you find them in the document outline if those scenes don't have a chapter title and therefore don't have a heading 1 style, right? I'm going to explain how. So again, you are writing The Wizard of Oz. And you know that you want 5 more scenes in which Dorothy meets the Scarecrow. She and the Scarecrow meet some really mean trees. She meets the Tin Man. She meets the lion. And then the witch attacks them all. Okay? Because you don't know if scene 1 will be a whole chapter by itself, you are going to title that scene Meets the Scarecrow, just for your draft. Make sure that the title describes the purpose of that scene. Then, instead of applying a heading 1 style, you'll actually apply a heading 2 style. And you'll keep that consistent throughout your document. Heading 1 styles are for all of your chapter titles, and heading 2 styles are for all of your scenes. Okay, I'm going to do it for all of them. There. Ooh, look, they are all there in your document outline. Yay! Let's say that you have finished writing the scene where Dorothy meets the Scarecrow and the scene where they meet those mean trees, okay? And you look back and you realize, hey, those 2 scenes have the same goal or focus, the Scarecrow. And you look at the total word count for those scenes and combined, they total your average chapter length. That means that you are going to group those scenes under a single chapter title. So above where Dorothy meets the Scarecrow, you're going to add a new title, Chapter 4, Scarecrow. And you will apply the heading 1 style. And then in the document outline, you'll see that both the chapter title and grouped beneath that, you'll see the subheadings, Meet the Scarecrow and Mean Trees. If you like, you can also group your chapterless scenes under a catch-all chapter titled Unidentified Chapters. I will apply a heading 1 style to that. So there you go. These are all of my unidentified scenes grouped under here. And then whenever you finish a chapter, you can either promote that scene to a chapter level and update the style to heading 1, or group your scenes under a new chapter as your story takes shape. So now in the document outline, I can see not only my chapters, but also my scenes, and I can quickly navigate to any of them. In short, Google Doc outlines your story for you, and this helps you add placeholders for future chapters or scenes you have yet to write, but you know that you want to include. For example, I am more of a pantser. I write by the seat of my pants, but I know the main scenes that I want to include. I may not know how I'm getting there, but every time I include a new scene, I give it a descriptive title and I give it a heading 2 style, and I start writing and I see where the story takes me, but I can see where it is fitting in my document outline. Another thing that I do is earmark unfinished scenes or unwritten scenes by adding 2 asterisks in front of the scene title, because maybe I don't feel like writing about Dorothy meeting the scarecrow just yet. Maybe my imagination is bursting with ideas for when they meet those mean trees. So by using the asterisks, I have a visual cue of what I need to work on later. And that gives me permission to indulge in my creativity and follow my gut without fear of forgetting about what I've skipped, and without fear of that tree scene getting lost in the middle of my manuscript somewhere. And being able to see my chapters and scenes listed in the document outline helps me to make sure my chapters and scenes are in the correct order that I want. The last thing for Google Docs that I promise to share is, if you don't like the default look for the styles, how do you change them? You start by selecting the text in the document that you want to reformat and change the font the way that you normally would do so. For example, typical manuscript formatting is Times New Roman, size 12 font throughout the entire document for the manuscript title, the chapter titles, and the body text. Let's start with the title style. Select the title in the document, go to the font menu and select Times New Roman, and then go to the font size menu and select text size 12, okay? Then, while you still have your cursor in the title text, go to the Styles menu, open the drop-down menu, hover over the title option, and select Update Title to Match. Look at when I open this again, notice how even in here, I can preview what my title style is going to look like. Same thing for heading 1. Highlight the chapter 1 title and go to the font menu, make the text Times New Roman, and go to the font size menu and make your chapter title font size 12. And then under the styles menu, you are going to hover over the heading 1 style option, and you're going to select Update Heading 1 to Match. Every chapter title in your document now matches that new look. You don't have to do it every single time. Ah, the beauty of using these document features. I love it. You don't have to change every title individually. The styles keep your document formatting consistent for you. Love it. Okay, now I'm going to walk you through how to do the same thing in a Word document, but we'll do this a bit more quickly now that you understand how this works. Please note that I am using a Mac, not a PC, so that means there will most likely be a few differences, but the concept is still the same. You may have to do a quick Google search to find where a feature or a menu item is located in the PC version, but the document will still work the same way. P.S. I personally set up my documents, my writing projects in Word, and then I upload it to Google Drive and I continue writing in the Word doc via Google Drive. because editors and publishers prefer working in Word. So it just makes it easier for everyone if you start out that way. Plus, when you then download or share the Word doc, you don't have to worry about converting from Google Docs to Word doc and fear any fonts going wonky. Okay, let's move on to how Word works. And I'm going to cover only 2 points: how to apply styles in Word and how to change the formatting of those styles. To apply styles, you'll use the Home tab in the ribbon or the menu bar. On the Home tab, you'll see the Styles preview window. There's also the Styles pane pop-up window over here, which has more advanced options, but don't worry about those. Pretty much what you need is already here in the Styles preview gallery, okay? So again, go to chapter 1, select the whole chapter title, and then go to the Styles preview window and click heading 1 to apply the style. Then open the View tab in the ribbon, okay? And next to the navigation pane option, click the checkbox. This will open a view pane on the left side of your document. By default, you'll see thumbnails of your pages. Above the first thumbnail, you'll see a few icons. Select the one that looks like a small bullet list, and that will change the navigation pane view to your document outline, which Word actually calls the document map, because, you know, it has to be different. So again, in the document map, you can see, or you can click on chapter 1, and then scrolling. There we go. Let's see, where are you? Okay. Okay, we're good. So again, in the document map, you can click on chapter 1, chapter 2, and etc., and the document will take you there instantly. No more scrolling through your document to find where a chapter starts. It's so nice. It makes me so happy to see my document outlined for me. Thank you very much. There's so many other formatting stuff that I would love to show you guys that will clean up your document, but I'm going to have to save that for another episode. This is 100% the editor and organization nut in me that loves every minute of this stuff. The last thing I'm going to share is changing the format of the default styles in Word. Once again, start by highlighting the paragraph you want to change, such as your body text. To clarify, the body text is anything that is not the title or subtitle or chapter title. Body text refers to your actual story text. So on the Home tab, change one paragraph's font to Times New Roman, okay? I confess that I actually hate typing in Times New Roman, but that's standard for manuscripts, so okay. My font size is already 12 in this instance, so yay. If it's not, change it to 12. Some editors and publishers want your paragraphs indented. You're going to have to check the submission guidelines to verify whether or not they want paragraphs indented. But let's say they do. Look at the ruler at the top of your Word doc. Note, if you do not see this ruler, go to the View tab in the ribbon, and next to the ruler option, make sure that checkbox is clicked on, okay? Now that your rulers are turned on, notice the 2 arrows on the top ruler on the left side. When you hover over each of these, their labels should read left indent and first line indent, okay? You are going to drag the top arrow, the first line indent arrow, over to the right by 1/2 inch. Then on the Home tab, in the Style Preview Gallery, you are going to find the normal style, right-click on it, and in the menu that pops up, select Update Normal to match selection. Boom! Every single paragraph in your document will auto-update to Times New Roman, size 12 font with the first line indented. This means that your manuscript title and your chapter titles most likely also indented, as you can see here. But you're going to update the look of those anyway, so don't fret. So for the manuscript title, you're going to drag the first indent line arrow back to 0. In the style pane, you are going to find the title style. You are going to right-click on it, and you are going to select the option Update Title to match section. And then do the same thing for your chapter titles. Manually change the first one to whatever it is that you want. I'm going to do Times New Roman. I'm going to change the font size to 12. And I'm going to change the color to black. And then I'm going to drag once again the first indent line or first line indent back to 0. And then find the heading 1 style in the preview window, right click on it, and select Update Heading 1 to match section. Once again, that will automatically update the appearance of your chapter titles throughout your document, and it will add those chapters to your document map. You fix the style appearance once, and the document fixes it everywhere as long as you have tagged all of your chapter titles with the heading 1 style. Okay, so that's it for Word. I really hope that you guys found this helpful. One of the greatest advantages of this is not only being able to easily navigate through your document and know where all of your scenes are so that you can move them around easily because, you just copy and paste wherever you want it to go and you take the heading with it and you move your text around in chunks. It's great. But also using the styles and document outline or document map also enables you to write freely without worrying about writing chronologically. Seeing your document outline helps you to focus on the parts of your book, the scenes where you are feeling most creative. You can easily jump to the scene you're most interested in, the one that's calling to you the most, and unleash your creativity without worrying about how you'll organize it in your doc later. You don't have to fear losing its location in your manuscript because that scene is labeled in the document outline or the document map. Formatting your manuscripts like this also makes formatting your work for publication so much easier when the chapter titles are all set up as heading 1. So if you have any questions, I'm here for you. Reach out. My contact info is in the show notes. I know that the whole writing process, let alone just getting back into writing, can feel overwhelming and challenging. So come join me in my Facebook group, Parents Who Write. We're a supportive community. And if you're looking for additional help, for one-on-one guidance and encouragement and help with getting organized and focused, then follow the link and set up a discovery call so you and I can chat. And I can help you figure out what your writing goals are and how I can help get you there. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.